Hi everyone, welcome back to Rooted Truth. I'm Keisha. Today I'm here and I'm gonna speak on a topic that I promise that I would have spoken about, but I didn't think that I would have been speaking on this topic so soon. But during a meditation this week, I was I got out of the meditation and it was so strong within my mind. It was so strong that sometimes when I sleep or when I think about things, like when I search for answers to questions and stuff like that, sometimes I will just wake up in the middle of the morning, like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. or 2 a.m., and just have that knowing and just have all the information that I need. And sometimes I don't know what my topic is going to be about. So it's like I've been shown that I really need to settle down more and start to do more meditation because I'm so busy with my day-to-day life. I really don't get the time to meditate, and that's where you get insight and wisdom and you learn new things, and the universe and God will show you what you need to do next and stuff like that. You're really being guided in this universe, but sometimes because we're not attentive enough, we haven't been slowing down enough, we are not able to connect to the divine. But I want to speak about the number 13 today. And the reason I feel so connected to this number is because it's a part of my birth date, right? So from I was a little girl, I've been hearing that this number is supposed to be some unlucky number of the sort, but because I was so deeply rooted in it, I couldn't I could not accept those truths or lies. So I had to hold strong and believe that this number was very dear to me and it was my lucky number, and it followed me around. It was what you believe, and that's what this life is about. Whatever experience you will ever get in this life, it's going to be about your mindset and what you believe can be true for you and others. And we are creators, as I said, and if you believe that these things are impossible, well, it might very well be that way to you. And I know you growing up hearing your elders saying that believe kill and believe cure. So if you believe that you will die, you will. And if you believe that you will live, you will. And if you believe that you will be cured, you will be cured. So it's as simple as that. So we live our mindset. Everybody is living in a whole different reality. And that is the reason why we can't seem to get along, because we're all on different consciousness or different level or plane of earth. That's how we're living. And because of all the generational curses and traumas and misunderstanding, misbelief, brain fog, mind control, archons, demons, all these things that are out there that we are ignorant to, because we are ignorant to a lot of things. Because we don't understand it, we put it aside, we disbelieve it, and we were taught really not to believe truth. You were trained from you were a baby not to believe truth. So whenever you hear truth, it sounds like lies. Especially if you are not someone with strong willpower and someone with, discernment, and someone who can think for yourself, and someone who doesn't follow the norm or the crowd. Yes, so I guess we were all trained to be that follower. And if you are not trained on how to be a leader or someone who question authority, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And I guess that's what's happening in the world. We're falling for anything. We're living in a male dominant society, and we have been taught that women is not important, women have no strength, women can do nothing, women should be silenced, they should just sit in a corner, they should wait on their husband or their father to be noticed. And we have been taught that our only purpose on earth is to have children and be a wife to somebody. And while I was going through my spiritual journey, as I said, with the number 13, I had to love that number. I had to cherish it because it was a part of me. And as a kid growing up, I never accepted anything. I always accepted what I thought was right for me. And if I was going to be stuck with the number 13, I had to find good ways of representing for it, or finding good things to feel about it. So even when Friday the 13th will come up, I'll be like, that's the luckiest day ever. Like, nothing ever happens on those days for me. I'm telling you the truth. Like, I don't know, I guess your belief system do create your reality, and whatever you believe in, it will be a reality for you. And that is the reason why some of us are not going to make it out of this pit, because we believe, even deep rooted in our subconscious mind, it's what we grew up seeing, and it's that is our belief. Even though it's not active in our everyday life, it's still deep rooted within our subconscious mind. And that is the reason why we have to get on this healing journey, so we can change our circumstances. And as I said, for the number 13, I had to cherish that number. And I've recently found out that that number represents the divine. And now I see why this number was demonized, because the number 13 represents the woman feminine spirit energy that is supposed to, it lies dormant in the base of our spine, as I said. And until you start learning truth and start understanding, start changing your ways of being, that energy is just there in our body. And we don't become supernatural because we demonize the power of God. And we think that it's only possible for certain people, at least only for Jesus, as we would say that Jesus was the only one who will do these things, will heal the blind and the sick and the dumb or whatever. But we are not capable of doing that. And even though Jesus had told us that we are going to do greater things than he had done, we still seem not to believe it, because we were taught not to believe the truth. But when I started coming into my awakening, and when I was shown that Jesus was just someone who was enlightened, it was just someone who was going through struggles, was born in poor and poverty and trauma just the same, and had to find himself and had to heal himself. He had to go into the wilderness for 40 days and 40 nights. And that's where you bleed all these energies, and you get all these realization that you're not just a common man that is wearing this bodysuit. You're more supernatural than that if you just embody the truth. And you start accepting and realizing who you are as a person wearing this suit. And you start understanding that you cannot die. There is no death. You will lose this body, but your spirit cannot die. And when you know this, because when I was going through my awakening, and when I started, after the love and the overwhelming joy, and, I thought I was going to get rich tomorrow. I'm like, yeah, I know God now. It's like, yeah, I'm done with this shit. Like, I'm moving on. And I was there, and then they started showing me more things, like how the world is run, like how we're being controlled, how we're under this demonic attack, how government are controlling us. So it's showing me all these things. It was showing me all these things about society, how it's run, how we're being controlled, how we're still a slave, and the things we're doing for money. God is not up to that. And that is the reason why we're not reaching our full potential, living, on earth, and be able to visit the heavens just the same without dying. So it's all these new realization that you will find. And, so 13 represents the divine, this feminine energy. And it's crazy to me, because how we were taught about God is that it's a man that sits in the sky and watches everything that we do. And when I realize how God works, it's like God wants to help us. She wants to give us what we want, but we don't believe in God really. We don't know how to reach out because we were taught to talk all the time and just pray, 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 pray and ask for things because we are selfish people. So we're in self and we are just praying to God to keep us alive and to, help us to rise above. And we're just asking for things. We're just, always wanting something, and we are not willing to give anything. And that is the reason why, you know you have to come out of self. And that is what I'm learning to do, to come out of self and to be of service to others, because I know a lot of people are struggling with their day-to-day life. I struggle just the same, but I struggle in different ways now than I used to. Certain things don't bother me anymore. I have certain understanding, and I know how to work things out. I know how to get by, and it feels good to be in control of your own life. And it's really good to be centered within your body and not being pulled all over. It's good to not let other people drain your energy. It's good to be in control of your own anger and your own joy. It's like nobody determines my happiness. I'm the only one that determines that. And it's like, even because the universe will test me, they test you daily. Like, things will just come up and it's like, yeah, but it doesn't get to my peace anymore. It's like I'm able to stay away from certain energy, like to deal with it in a manner that is respectful and that is accepted, and I don't hurt the other person in the process. And sometimes I will tell you the truth because I know the truth. I can see the truth clearly now, so it's like, when you try to, if someone will try to attack me, I will only use the truth to take them down. Like, I will just reflect. I will turn the mirror at you and let you see yourself. So that's how I deal with those kind of things when they come up. So it's like knowing how to deal with your anger, not being controlled. And people decide when you're happy or when you're sad. But I said, like, you have to look around and see the things that are being demonized in society, and you have to learn truth. You have to be curious enough to want to know truth for yourself, because once you know what is truth and you understand this whole system and how much it's rigged against you, it's like, I don't want to participate anymore. Like, yes, you have to live in society and you're not gonna, take yourself away from it, but now how to deal with the challenges. You know how to love even from a distance. And when you learn these things, that's how God favor you, because God don't want us to be stupid. God don't want us to be foolish. God want us to be wise and smart. And I had my own encounter with the divine, and that is the reason why I can even come here and sit and talk these things, because people let it seem like these things were very far off and only certain people are capable of knowing certain things. But these things have been happening for years and for centuries, and it's available for all of us. And that is the message, that the truth that I am embodying now is available to everybody. It just takes a little curiosity. It takes a little questioning. It takes a little, time to go search and go looking for information. And once you start learning and start understanding, and you should, when you pray for wisdom, pray for knowledge, and pray for understanding. Because it's very important. When you have these three things combined together, you can move mountains. You can really move mountains with these things, because God will come in and they will show you everything that you need to know. They will bleed everything that needs to leave your system, and they will embody you with new energy. And the new energy is gonna let you be able to navigate life a little easier. It doesn't mean that you're not gonna have to get up off your ass and go do something, but it means that you're being guided and you can see truth. And even if you have a business deal that you have to do, God will say, you can hear lies. I'll tell you, it's as plain as that. You'll be able to read people's energy in a way that it's fucking supernatural. And I don't want to curse here. You'll be able to read people's energies. You'll be able to know when people are lying to you. Like the minute they start talking, even if they call you on the phone, even if they send you a voice note, even if they when people are exaggerating, when a part of it is true, that's how much God is going to open your awareness. And when you have those kind of awareness, it's easier to navigate through life. And won't everybody wants to be able to know what's going on in somebody else's body? Like the first time I had that experience, it felt nasty because I thought it was me. And I will come back here and I will tell you these stories because I am only going to tell you what I have experienced. I can't tell you what nobody else has experienced, but I knew from I was a little girl, I've been taking notes. And I didn't even knew that these things were possible even when I was doing them, because I didn't understand what I was doing. When people were telling me stories and I was figuring it out and putting it together, and they, sometimes people even get upset with me like, oh, you're so judgmental. And I'm like, I'm not judging you. I don't know these people. You tell me. And my mind just worked in a different way, and I'm able to see truth. And I can tell you someone was lying, and it followed me around, and I thought it was a curse. But I've just recently realized that it's a blessing. And now I have to accept my blessing, that I know things that others don't know. I see things that others don't see. But I am here to tell you that we all have that capability, because we're all aspect of the divine. We're all of us. So it's not far off. I'm not special. That's what I'm here to tell you, that I am not special. And I know a lot of people go around and they try to tell you that, oh, God give me this gift, and and that's the thing. We try to act as if we're above each other, and we're on the same level. We're all the same thing, just wearing a suit. Like we look the same when we're out of this suit. And that's the thing. When we're in this suit, we become an individual. Yeah, when we're wearing this suit, we become individualized because of our bloodline, because of our name, because of where we were born. We become an individual. And that's the thing that God is trying to take us out of, that individuality, that self, proclaim, this is me and this is who I've always been. And, you have to change that, because I'm telling you, it's not going to lead you anywhere good and anywhere prosperous. Because when you only love yourself and your family, you're still gonna find out that you still have problems. You have problems, bad problems. People are not prospering in your family. Things are happening around and you don't understand it, and you're like, why does this keep happening to me? And we ask this question, but I guess we don't wait for the answers, or we don't ask them long enough. Because I was asking all these goddamn questions, and I can tell you that about 2 years ago, after my first spiritual awakening, I had the first one, and I realized that, what was happening in the world and all of that. And let me tell you, when I found out that everything that God was telling me, that all these secret that I thought was secret, because a lot of people know these things, but a lot of people don't know about these things, right? So when I got all these information, and let me tell you, it's like a knowing in your mind. It's not like somebody's literally speaking to you. It's like, yeah, it's like a download. It's like it's just coming in, like, and it's like you embody, like, it's the truth. When it comes to you, it's like, oh my fucking God, you're crying, your eyes out, you're so sad for the world. You're like, oh my God, what is this place? Why are we? And it's like, so I'm supposed to go out there in the world and talk about government and talk about society and people. Oh my God, I was crying. I cried my eyes out. I'm not doing that. I'm like, I have my children. I don't want to get killed. I don't want to die. And it was, oh my God, I cried so much. I cried. That was my second spiritual awakening. I cried my fucking eyes out, because I was knowing all these things now, that I am you want me to go out in the world and speak about these things? Like, are you serious? Like, me, the little fat girl and the mango, is gonna go out there in the world and speak about people that can kill me? And I have my 2 kids. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. And let me tell you, I was there after I cried my eyes out, and I didn't get any contact from God anymore. Like, I didn't get any more spirit guide telling me and showing me stuff, but things was happening in my life just the same, like accidents and stuff been happening and a lot of drama, drama. But these are the things that happen to us that we have to wake up to. We have to wake up to these things when they happen and ask, what is the lesson in this? What am I supposed to be learning from this? And when I started asking those questions, let me tell you, that's why I'm here today, because those questions I started asking. So it's like the things that I know now, I didn't even believe that I would know these things. I don't believe these things either, because growing up, I didn't really believe, a lot about witchcraft and stuff like that. No. I'm like, that can't catch me. I don't believe in that. And I'm like, if somebody do that to me, why don't you get up out of yourself and go do something about it? I thought that's how it worked. But now when God showed me, but now I understand, maybe it was a good reason why I didn't believe in those things, because maybe that protected me. Because as I said, our mind can really get to us. And when those things come to your mind and you start believing them, then they manifest and it becomes a reality. And that's what we're living every day, or reality. Whether it's in our conscious mind or subconscious mind, that's how it works. And it blocks our chakras, as I said. And these are the things that we need to work on. And I'm still working on mine. I'm not yet fully healed, and I don't know if there's a fully healed, because this is a never-ending journey. And it's like, it continues. The journey continues, and I'm here continuing my journey. And I have to come back here and tell you the story about the divine and when I encounter with her. Let me tell you. But I promised her that I was going to speak on her, and I was going to speak about her, and I was going to spend the rest of my life speaking about her. Even if no one believes it, I care zero, because guess what? I know what I know. And it's not me alone that know this truth. If you're interested, you can go seek. You'll find. Thank you. Yeah, so it's available to all of us. You can start asking those questions. Why was woman demonized so much? You can go on YouTube, you could find the book of Adam. You can start understanding the Bible and why certain things was taken out, and why certain Bible were banned and certain books are banned, and why you can't get the truth, and the only thing you have to rely on is the good old King James. I'm sorry. Like, I don't mean to come here but I have to just tell you the truth. And that's just how I feel about it. Like, the only thing you have to run to, is the King James version of the Bible that we interpret the wrong way. We interpret it the wrong way. But I tell you, there is a special reason why the woman was demonized in the Bible, and is still being demonized today in society, because the woman is more connected to the heavens. And what prayers of 10 men will take to bring to the heaven, it takes one woman to bring that prayer up. And that is why every man needs a strong woman in their life. And it's not that women are not victim now and losing themselves and doing all kind of evil things and not understanding who they are and the power that they attain and how they need to help the male aspect. And it's a whole heap of things that we need to dissect into, but slowly we will, because I want you to get it. I want you to understand it. And that's just where I am. I'm going to cut the video, and I'm not going to make it too long. So thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel, because we're going to be dissecting the stuff around here, and we'll be speaking nothing but the truth. Right? Bye for now.